welcome to this video. I'm in the beautiful Montego Bay, Jamaica with my very close friend, Steve Cotter
Ikff.
And we've been reconnected after a few years apart. He came to visit me in Perth, Western Australia many years ago, teaching his craft, his skill, his passion, what inspires him the most. So we were doing some training this morning, and I was very blessed to be with Steve and a couple other friends here, and we were just on the sand and we were playing around. And after we finished, and I'll tell you what we did later, but I want Steve to introduce himself because his work is powerful. And after that we were talking, and Steve said, "Why don't we just do a video on this, because this is pretty epic content." I said, "Yes, let's do a video." So that's what we're doing now. We're doing a video and we'll post it up. We tried a live feed, but that didn't work. The Wi-Fi is not too good here, and the connection was pretty poor. So I want to introduce Steve and let him do his thing, and then we're gonna go through what we did and what we spoke about, the essence of what we spoke about. Steve, over to you, brother.
Thank you, bro. Brothers and sisters, nice to be here with you. I'm Steve Cotter. One thing that myself and Steph and Ronan and all the people here, we're vibrating on a same frequency, and we're essentially about raising human consciousness within ourselves and finding our voice and sharing that with humanity, with who needs to hear it, who is still lost and maybe doesn't know who they are. And so we have to awaken that divine spark within you, and we have different techniques. My technique is via fitness, so I use the body, but it's not about the muscles, because you're more than your body. Okay? The body gets old, the body gets sick, the body can get injured, and the body will return to the earth from whence it came. But there's another part of you. It's the non-physical. You can call it the mind, you can call it the soul. We don't know what it is. We can't touch or see or feel it or taste it or hear it, but it's every bit as real as the body. And so my work here really is about love. And when I say love, I'm not talking about the Walt Disney love, like the Beauty and the Beast, where it's a romantic love. So I love you, you make me happy, but now you make me mad, so now I don't love you anymore. So that's conditional. I can give it, I can take it away. What I'm talking about is the divine love with a capital L. This love is permanent. So it means I love you whether you love me or not. And when we say love heals all, that's the love. It's an energy, and it's the most powerful energy, and darkness cannot stand up against this light. So basically we do our work, and where the body comes in is the body is the vehicle through which we do our work here. Whatever your work is, if it's sweeping floors, if it's preparing a salad, if it's teaching kettlebells, there's no hierarchy. It's basically living your purpose. So what I'm doing through my movements, whether it's body weight, whether it's qigong, flexibility, kettlebell training with clubs and so on, really what I'm doing is I'm helping you to learn mindfulness via movement. So you're not just moving random and flailing, but you're conscious in directing your focus into the movement. And this way we harmonize the energies. So the earth has energy, this is the earth energy. The heavens or the skies have energy, but humans have energy. So really, when we're standing in posture, we're absorbing energy through the earth, we're absorbing energy through the heaven. So the body is a very powerful supercomputer, an electrical conduit. And that's the work that I'm doing. I'm using fitness so that you feel empowered. Oh, I feel good, you know, now my confidence is better. And now I believe in myself. And now, what else can I do? If I can improve my health, can I also improve my relationships? Can I also improve my financial? Can I also be more compassionate? So maybe I'm very strong, I have big muscles. Is it so, hey, I'm stronger than you, or I can lift more weight than you? It's not about that. It's, I'll use my strength to lift somebody up that maybe isn't strong enough to lift themselves up. To me, this is strength. So, you know, the body, you are more than your body. Okay, even if you're a stud. Okay, give you an example. Michael Jordan, the greatest that ever was, he's not the best anymore. So even if you're up here, if you're just about the body, you have nowhere to go but down. We have to evolve. We have to evolve through our consciousness, body, mind, and soul. And so we did with the Iceman, Wim Hof. We did the ice bath, and he was teaching us about love through his technique. And then Steph and I and Ronan, we came out here and we did some movement play. We mobilized the joints, we did some sprints, and then we were just wrestling. But it wasn't like, hey, I'm trying to throw you, I'm trying to beat you. It was feeling the energy. Maybe he got me, I got him, it doesn't matter, because we're not competing, we're sharing. And this is the consciousness that we're evolving into, and my brothers and we're helping to lead that through example. And that's really what it's about. So it's not about Steve Cotter, it's about the message, which is not my message, it's all of our message. And it's about love. So I'll just say in closing, there's only one of you. Love yourself, forgive yourself. You are enough. Don't believe the bullshit, don't believe the lies. If someone told you you were ugly, someone told you you were not smart enough, they were lying. Maybe it was unintentional, okay? That's bullshit. You're perfect exactly the way you are. And so you step into that consciousness, now you're moving with purpose. And that's why I love this man right here, because he understands the language and he's sharing that through his methods. I'm sharing that through it. So join this global brotherhood of human consciousness. Why? Because the earth needs us. Okay, the earth is suffering. The Mother Earth is in pain. So we need to elevate and lift all of us together.
So that's interesting. Thank you, brother. So when I hear that, like I relate, I resonate, I connect, and I feel very deeply. And we're having this deeply esoteric, philosophical conversation around how humanity, how men in particular in this context can actually be, can actually evolve, can actually become this divine maleness, right? All through some movement on the beach, that's it. So what it was, 4 things come to mind when I was listening to you intently speak, Steve, and it was intention, attention, embodiment, and harmony, harmonization. You actually said that word, and harmony was resonating deeply within me. And what we do when we connect in this way, and Steve mentioned we were wrestling, and we weren't wrestling with an intention to hurt each other. We weren't wrestling with an intention to dominate, which is what patriarchy does and has done so much in our society for thousands of years, out of fear, out of oppression, out of suppression, out of ego domination. No, we said our intention that was set was we want to move, we want to flow, we want to feel, we want to connect. If you move up, I'll move up. If I move down, you move down. And that's connection, that's bonding. But importantly, it's reverence and respect. That was our intention. We were paying attention to our bodies, to our inner state, to our spirit per se, to what was happening in the mind, to what was happening in the breath in particular, because breath governs so much about what we do. And the harmony came in being able to connect in synchronicity. Now imagine we do that on a global scale, right? Because I know that's part of Steve's message, as part of mine, is being able to increase that on a global scale, to just continue to allow that to evolve. And that's where that embodiment comes in. But if we don't practice this, if we don't pay attention to this, if we don't speak openly to this, communicate to this, be with this, we're never going to get anywhere, right? So that's why we were in the water and Steve just looked at me and said, we need to do a video on this because this is epic. Like, how can we not speak to this? Because if we miss an opportunity right now, and the message in this is, if we miss an opportunity right now to speak to something that is so crucially important in today's society, specifically so much for men, because we have a problem in being vulnerable. We have a problem being open. We associate vulnerability with fear. We associate vulnerability with closeness. We associate vulnerability with weakness, and that we are not a man if we do so. That's wrong. It needs to be debunked, and this is where it starts. It starts in practice and embodiment, and it starts in conversations following that. Steve, tell me, because I have such deep admiration for you as a human being and just the way you show up and present yourself, right? And this is the humility of Steve, okay? And this is how we all grow. And I said, and I said to Steve, Steve, because I know if we say, okay, let's wrestle, okay, it's not that I'm not good, I'm great, but everything's, it's relative, right? Steve's extensive background, he's going to dominate me. So it's not about, and that's okay, there's nothing wrong with me losing or me winning, that's not the point. But the humility of this man, I just said, I just want to move, I want to flow, I want to feel. He said, absolutely. And he allowed that to take place, and I allowed that to take place. And when that happens, what happens is we bond, and that's primal, we were talking about it. It's evolutionary. Like we bond, because if we didn't kill each other, if we didn't die, if we didn't get hurt, guess what? We've gone to the next level of our emotional connection. Because we've experienced something physiological, neurological, psychological, emotional, and spiritual. So Steve, walk me through a little bit, walk us through a little bit about how that felt for you, and how you embody that in your everyday life when you meet not only men, but just women, people, just full stop in general? How you present yourself, how you show up, what are your intentions in that?
It's an exchange. It's an exchange. It's not so the ego says, oh, here's a threat in front of me and now I need to defend and try to defeat.
Softening.
But when we start to become more aware of and practice through our meditations, through our mindful movement, we become aware of the interconnectedness. So his name is Steph, my name is Steve, but that's not who I am. That's not who that's the name he carries. His work is the title. Okay, his story is his story, but that's not who he is. I'm a white guy, I'm 5'6", my name is Steve, and I do fitness, but that's not who I am. It doesn't define, because who I am is eternal. And it's this for all of us. So when we get past the armor, the superficial, like, I don't know, he's got big shoulders and he's taller than me and he's a handsome guy, I don't know if I'm good enough. This is the ego talking that wants to compare. It's a duality. Us, them, right, wrong, good, bad. Oh, the sun, it's a beautiful day. Oh, it's raining. It's a bad day. No, you got a bad attitude, because the rain is beautiful and the sun is beautiful. Okay, and the black man is my brother, even though our skin is different color. Okay, because we all come from the same tribes. So it's this understanding, and then we take it to deeper levels. What's our relationship with the earth? Are we raping the earth just so we can drive bigger cars? What's our relationship with the animals? Am I killing that animal not because I have no food, but because I'm gluttonous? Right? So I'm not lecturing. I'm not saying do this or do that. I'm saying let's be mindful of our actions and consider what's the next step and where is it coming from? Is it coming from some craving, which is of the ego, or is it coming from some essential need? So the movement, really, it's an exchange. It's, okay, I feel he's a little off balance, I'm going to go down and see if I can bump him. Or I feel, oh man, he turned me, so let me see if I can absorb it and redirect it. It's really, I'm doing it with myself. Yeah. That's really what it is. And he is providing me with that feedback. You know, I could do it in the air, but there's no feedback. But if I do it against his body, now it's like, oh, okay, he got me. Can I move it and redirect it? And so it's like it's a martial dance, but there's no evil intention. So we actually are elevating each other, helping each other to sharpen our skills in a non-threatening environment. At the same time, we have a right as living beings to defend ourselves. So if a violent tribe comes, we're peaceful. We say we don't want any, but if they force us, our skills are sharp and we can do the needful to preserve ourselves, which is part of our duty. You must preserve yourself and honor yourself. So that's really the martial art. That's why in my martial art, I don't teach fighting. I take the health giving and teach about the mind and the breathing. If you want to fight, go out in the street, you'll find a fight. Okay, you get beat up a few times before you know it, you'll be better, but you're staying at, it's still divide and conquer. As long as you're divide and conquer, the revolution is happening now, but it's not a bloody revolution anymore, because when we go that way, we're using the same techniques that are keeping us down, which is divide and conquer. The revolution is a revolution of consciousness. So we elevate and create a bigger space. And that's really what I'm about through my teaching. But we have to, getting back to the body is the vehicle with which we do our work. And so caring for this is as much a sacred act as it is a physical act. But it's not all that we are.
So that's interesting. You say that, and we'll wrap this up really shortly as well. But when you say that, for me, you know, that when you're speaking to our humanity and where we are right now, you know, violence, aberrance, separation comes to mind. And when you were speaking earlier about mindfulness, it's about being responsible for our choices, being responsible for our actions. And then to be responsible, we must pay attention. And then if we need to be responsible, we must move with a very specific intention. It's about that mindfulness about who are we and what do we do and how do we present in the world and what do we embody, what ethos do we embody, what choices do we embody, and how can we basically be more evolved human beings. For me, and tell me what you feel about this as well, but the primary, not objective, but the primary embodiment for all of humanity, all sentient beings, is growth.
Yes,
growth,
absolutely.
Is transformation through growth. So what does growth mean? We're at a state, states are transient, states move, they shift, they flux, and when that state no longer serves our collective well-being, when it causes harm, when it causes pain and separation, segregation, and it's continual, it's consistent, it's persistent, what generally happens is we remain stagnant. Now, in order to grow and to elevate ourselves, and if we just look at, for example, just a stacked hierarchy, just to simplify evolution for a moment, but evolution's not linear, of course, it's far beyond that. But we look at that state, we say that state no longer serves us, it causes us harm. How do we transition from that state? We must grow, we must move through barriers, challenges, etc. New information, new knowledge, new ways of being, new expressions. And then we break through that and we become different. And then in that difference, we learn to navigate our environment, we learn to navigate our world and each other and ourselves with greater clarity, efficacy, and greater care. And essentially that's what you're speaking to, yeah?
Absolutely. It's about growth. All biology, you know, the plants will always reach to the heaven, animals will always look up. It's our nature to expand. This is life, this is biology. So again, it speaks about the interconnectedness. Dualistic thinking. This causes a lot of disharmony, this dualistic idea of right, wrong, good, bad. It's just a perception. So I'm speaking from a place of unity, a unified viewpoint. In other words, we're interconnected. So it's not about right or wrong. It's about I do it this way, you do it that way. Your way isn't wrong, but it's not my way. But I can respect it and I can observe it. I don't have to participate in it. But I also don't have to crush it because of fear. In a unified viewpoint, it's not love and hate. It's actually love or absence of love. So if you're operating in fear, fear is, or what we call hate. Hate is fear. We define it as hate. Like, I hate that person because he looks different, but actually it's because I'm afraid of him, because I don't look into his soul. When I look at him, I just see the dark skin, and so, or he has a beard, or he wears a hat, and we don't wear those clothes, so he must hate us. And this is this dualistic, which creates the separation between humanity of us versus them. When you understand that we are all brothers and sisters, we may not all have personalities that we like. You like this person's personality, or you don't like that, so you can spend more time with the person you like and avoid the person you don't, but you don't have to go to war with them. And so really that's what it is about. It's this idea of unity, and it ties into struggle, it ties into pain, it ties into discomfort. You know, Wim Hof, as an example, he's massively famous, he's going around the world. There's some reason for that, his message resonates, but if you go past the ice water, which is the technique, and you go to the essence and you speak to the man, it's about love, and that's what he's helping to teach people. It's about love, and that's what my message is, and that's what Steph's message is, and that's what all spiritual teachers, the message is. And there's many techniques to get there, but where does the love begin? It begins with loving yourself and accepting yourself and being willing to say, you know what, everything that I believed up to this point, I accepted it. A lot of it could have been wrong. Maybe all of it was wrong. And so I can empty my cup, and now I can be open to new learning, new experience, which is going to be uplifting, instead of, oh, you're original sinner, oh, you're bad, do what I tell you, or you're going to get spanked, or you better get a college degree, or you'll be a failure, or if you don't make 6 figures, then you're a bum. All of these opinions and values of external. It doesn't matter. Is it the church? Is it your mother? Is it your teacher? Is it your neighbor? It doesn't matter who it is. If they're telling you that you're less, you have to block that out. And you can smile and say, oh, thank you. But in your mind, you must know, I am enough. I am enough. You know, myself, I'm 5'6" and I'm white. So when I jump up and down on a table on one leg, people say, oh, you have great genetics. Really? I'm 5'6" and I'm white. Where's the genetics? I'm not 6'6" and black. So, but inside I'm 12 feet tall, and I know that. So it doesn't matter about this, it matters about this, and we have to sharpen. So if you're training the muscles every day and you have a beautiful body, that's awesome, but are you training your mind? Are you training your soul? And to me, that's who I'm talking to, because there's a lot of people that are going to teach you how to swing kettlebells and lift weights. If that's all you get out of it, that's good, but what's next? Because what's next is where we're going, and the train's already left. And we invite you to step on it. And it's not my train, it's not his train, it's all of us.
That's epic, man. And you know, when you speak to what's wrong, I think about what no longer serves who you are in this world. And what we primarily did before, which was the inspiration for this talk, was softening the ego whilst placing ourselves under pressure as men. And that's what bonded us. We dropped the facade, we dropped the guard, because we trusted, and we placed ourselves in an openness. And in that openness, we were able to receive more information from a different vantage point that allowed us to connect and merge into each other effectively. And men don't have this conversation enough. And that's part of as our friend Jim Quick said, it's not the problem to have a perceptive shift, it's the puzzle. And that's about us looking at the puzzle of life, especially masculinity, and looking at maleness in particular, because that rigidity, that maleness has caused so much turmoil in our society for men and for women, for children, for the entire planet Earth. So it's time now, and this simple training that we did today has really sparked this deeper conversation around spiritual growth, around transformation, around the way we connect as a humanity, as the way we connect as beings, and particularly men, the way they, instead of doing this in rigidity, bonding and merging in harmony. And I just want to say thank you so much, Steve, for being here, for your wisdom. Thank you to my brother holding this camera here.
Ronan.
Ronan's been so patient. Thanks, brother. Here, let me get a picture, an image of Ronan here, because this is our man.
That's the guy behind the camera.
Because he trained with us today, and this was new for you as well, Ronan,
Right,
wasn't
first
it?
time I've done it.
He's done anything like this, and he just surrendered, man. Like Ronan just surrendered. He was present. It was fucking beautiful. It was
It's
amazing.
such a great connection.
Yeah, and that was because he chose to be present to what was happening, and he just trusted. And as men,
And we
need
developed
trust.
this brotherhood and this bonding between us in a non-confrontational way. So, if I may, a lot of society teaches us strength in numbers, and I don't follow this. What I say is there is strength and power within the individual. And the reason is because within the individual is the divine, and within the divine is the I. So when I know who I am, who am I? I am that I am. And when I know this and I have my voice, and he is an individual and he is an individual, now we decide we come together for a common purpose. Now it's a strength in numbers for real, because of the numbers is made up of individual consciousness that focus their consciousness on a particular goal. And we know if two or more come together in the name of goodness, we can create miracles. And that's what's happening right here, right now. What I would like to say is maybe share a simple exercise that we recently learned from one of our great teachers here. And it speaks to the idea that there's separation between individuals. When you're in an elevator or, and you're maybe uncomfortable, open your heart. So here's a simple drill you can do with each other. Man, woman, doesn't matter, because we're brothers and sisters. We stand and we look at each other. And I say, who are you? Another way we can do this is we can say, where are you?
I'm here.
And we breathe into each other's souls. And it's a simple way, and there's no sexuality there, there's no, and whatever, if man, woman, doesn't matter, okay? It's
Intention.
Human to human, looking into and seeing that there's more than what the eyes can see, and feeling it. And this is a beautiful moment. And when we can do this with people, we can begin to break down the armor, and you find your voice and you live as you. That's why the people that motivate us and we buy their books is because this is the message, okay? Forgive yourself, love yourself. There's only one of you. No one can be better than you. So that means you're the best you. And you operate from that foundation. There is no fear. As Wim says, as our teacher Wim Hof says, fuck fear.
What do you do with fear? You fuck fear.
We fuck fear.
Guys, girls, people of the earth, thank you so much for watching. It's my honor to have Steve here on this video and to be sharing. Thank you, brother. and sharing his wisdom, our collective wisdom, our connected wisdom. And be sure to look out for more videos as well. Jump on my YouTube channel, S.Sifandos. What's tell us your website, your YouTube channel. Tell us everything.
IKFF.com. YouTube is IKFF channel.
Excellent. Yeah, excellent. And for more videos like this, you can jump on my YouTube channel, S.Sifandos. And many blessings to you, beautiful people. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Steve.
One
Thank
love.
you, Ronan. Thank you.